Hello YouTube, this is the Galley La Podcast, and today we are going to be reviewing One Piece manga chapter 1101, Dear Bonney. So please like and subscribe if you have not. I am Akainu Fanboy and the other guy is Geboss, and we resume Kuma's flashback in the Kingdom of Goa in the East Blue, and this is 3 years ago, and I believe, let's see, so Luffy was, I think, 16, right?
Yeah.
At this point. And so does this put him two years before the story at this point, or 1 year before 1 year before the series started?
Yeah, 1 year. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because I think I think they leave the island at 17.
And if it's 3 years ago, with you take the 2 year time skip into account too and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we see Luffy training here, and Kuma comes upon him, and we basically, we just kind of see him training. We see the animals all shocked and everything, and Kuma brings up the dragon about basically this young boy that he saw there. So what I did find interesting is with this chapter, we didn't really see what the world government sent him there for.
Well, so I don't think that Kuma was sent there by the government. Like we can see in the flashback, Kuma's talking to Dragon, and I think this is when they rescued Sabo.
Okay.
Yeah, so he says that you're familiar with this island. So I know that we like to rag on the fact that that Dragon is a lousy parent or a bad character and whatever, but I think just this small interaction here casts it in a somewhat different light, because he says, like, when Kuma's talking about this, he's saying, Kuma's bringing up the fact that there's this young boy there. He says, if you want to keep talking about this, you may as well kill me yourself. A child is their parent's weak spot. And that also ties into Bonnie's whole story with Kuma. Like, she's the reason that he's the way that he is, because he sacrificed everything for her. But it's also like saying that Dragon kind of feels the same way about Luffy. Like he doesn't want Luffy to be held over him in like kind of a selfish way, but yeah.
No, for sure.
What do you think about
that? It's the type of reaction I'd expect from him, to be honest.
But I mean,
it's his weak spot. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, it's his weak spot, so it shows that he values Luffy.
Yeah, still, that cold, distant kind of thing, something he kind of wants to suppress, and and I never really doubted that he did. It's just like his character is still kind of stale to me so far,
Yeah.
So he's just kind of there, I guess. I'm not like insanely impressed with him. Kuma's a better dad, but
yeah, but who's a worse dad than both of them? Yasop.
Usopp's dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I just want to make sure.
He just straight up ditched Usopp. But yeah.
I did like it was funny how Luffy said, "I don't eat wimps," in reference to the animal, so I thought that was pretty funny and cool. And Luffy, it's interesting, like this weak Luffy was able to sense the presence a little bit of Kuma, which I thought was kind of interesting, and how it gave him chill. So I thought that was kind of cool. And it was interesting to see how Kuma, even as a warlord of the sea, did heal people, but even pirates. But then in this other panel, he did demand them to give up their treasure loot too. So he's acting like a good marine, basically, when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice that, I mean, later on in the chapter, we also see some of the stuff that he does, but like he's called the tyrant, but you see him active, like being nice to the people that he saved. So it sticks with his character.
For sure. So, we basically see him writing these letters to Bonney, and we get to the realization that they're getting thrown out with, I don't really remember her name, but the Khalifa lookalike, basically.
Alpha.
She's Alpha, yes,
Yeah.
there you go. So everything's getting torn up by her, and, it's just coming off as a really sociopathic kind of person with no heart.
That's Cypher.
So, yes, and Akuma can't even get a W with the letters, Like, that's how down bad he is. He can't even get letters to his kid after everything he's given to the government, too. So, and we see Bonney starting to utilize the forms from her devil fruit, and she beats up some of the people who were taking care of her, but she was smart enough not to show her ability around Alpha, too, which I thought was interesting during this whole time. So I thought that section was interesting because I guess you get to see her train a little bit. And we basically move into Vegapunk, where we have him talking to Kuma and Stussy. So what were your thoughts on this section?
I'm interested to see, when... I want to know how old Stussy is. The clone of Stussy. Because it was Judge that was working on all the cloning tech, right? And he left a while ago.
Yes.
So I'm just curious to see how long she's been there, because she also mentions stuff about where was it? About she the human that lacks free will, or the clone that doesn't. Yeah. So she doesn't really even see herself, or she does see herself as a human, but a flawed one in a way.
Yeah. And they basically. Oh, sorry, go.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah. So they're basically setting up the foundation of his will, and basically, how he has roughly one more year left, and he's still kind of happy. He's like, oh, cool, I get to send more letters, So he's still an insanely good, optimistic person in the amidst this terrible situation. And when we get to Bonnie's 9th birthday, fast forwarding that, put her 12 years old. Actually, wait, no, is she 11 or 12 in the story? Because as a year passed in the story,
she is 12 in the current story.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So with the congratulations, yeah. So basically, we're wishing her happy birthday and everything, and again, she still hasn't received any letters, and this is starting to weigh on her more and more. And basically, we see him with his final moments too with Dragon, and how it kind of just let Kuma go, to not be followed, because let's be real, Dragon wanted to help him out anyways, even if Kuma asked, So that's basically what's going on there.
Well,
so I don't know, any thoughts on that section in particular?
So I think it's interesting, this whole flashback is, it's technically Kuma's, but it's also technically Bonnie's, because she got all the memories from Kuma's extracted memories. So it's kind of ironic that Alpha was tearing up all the letters and she never got them, but she's actually receiving them in the form of the memories, which I think is kind of cool that she gets to see them that way. Just to see how much Kuma cared about her. And
Vegapunk was able to ruin Kuma's life and help him out at the same time.
Yeah, but I just wonder how much planning Kuma for when his personality was erased, his free will, I wonder how much of that is he planned ahead, because he put all his memories out there and Vegapunk kept them. So so yeah, but yeah, I mentioned earlier about like Kuma's specifically helping out the revolutionaries like on the side. Like he's just showing up and then disappearing. Because I guess he doesn't want anything to be tied directly to him, even though they saw him. And Dragon doesn't have any well, I guess he trusts Kuma enough to know that he has his reasons for doing everything.
Yeah, and with his ability, you can kind of move quickly without being caught.
Yeah.
So that's pretty nice there. So basically we find out, again, another terrible thing the government did, that Bonney's disease is bad. And, that her, obviously it's bad, but that basically it's been cured this entire time. Well, not this entire time, but for a bit now. And then we see Bonney go into granny mode to sneak out and everything, which I thought was pretty cute and funny. And then Alpha finds out shortly thereafter and begins the skywalk. Yeah. And we see Gear Bonney activated too. What were your thoughts of that?
So I had to go back and reread I did a double take because I wasn't sure that that was Bonney transformed into the older one until we saw later that the old that Connie is passing off and she's like all old dressed up as young Bonney. But but I also noticed, I don't think I said anything about it, but yeah, in the previous chapters it was shown that Connie's hat is the one that Bonney is most associated with. So that was a nice little thing there. I figured that she would get the hat in some way, but we see how she got it. And we saw Distorted Future earlier when she was fighting Vegapunk, trying to get into the memory room. But I mean, she's kind of has her own like Gear 3 basically. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And it also kind of puts into question like what else can she do with her powers, because it seems pretty cracked if that's the case, that she can just change herself into whatever she feels like, I guess, like any different future. But yeah, what did you think?
And maybe we'll see that power showcased more in this arc too.
Yeah, I mean,
even though she's taken some L's here and there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it also kind of plays into the whole thing like earlier in the arc where Vegapunk was talking about dreams, like the devil fruits came from dreams, basically, of the people who wish for them. So, I think that this actually kind of ties, like, has a direct correlation with that, because it's what she's wishing her future to be like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so do you think that well, she took out like a Cypherpole agent, which I guess equates her because they're the only ones with actual power levels. Do you think that Alpha's like around Khalifa level in terms of like whatever metric they used during Ennie's lobby?
I'd say probably a bit weaker just because she's in the, Cypherpole 8, if I remember correctly?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, probably just like a weaker version for sure. Yeah, but it's still like an impressive feat, and curious to see what more Bonney could do. And it is impressive to do is just like basically a 12-year-old. I mean, she's only 10 in this one right here, so
yeah, or 9. Yeah.
Yeah, so now her powers are getting more and more advanced as the story has gone on too. To such an extent where she became a supernova.
Yeah. So talking about that, just before we started recording, we were briefly discussing how many chapters do you think are left in this? Because I think maybe 2 or 3 more. I know we said this last time, but
I'd say 1 for me. Yeah, I think it's just basically it's gonna be Kuma's last moments, and that's it, basically.
Well, I think for me, I think that Oda might show more of like Bonnie's journey as her as a pirate.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, because we also have to like see maybe how like importance was put on her for like Akainu to like capture her, or any of the like the Navy, like, oh, she's a celestial dragon, so she's a special case. And then I think the two big things we have left to see of Kuma is his whole thing with his whole rationale of sending the Straw Hats away at Sabaody. It would be interesting to see his thought process with that. Because also the two others that were there were Kizaru and Sentomaru, who are also heavily involved with this whole Kuma and Bonney flashback. So I'm wondering if that's like the point that kind of tipped it over the edge, like the government saying like, no, we saw what you did, you let them escape, we're taking away your stuff, your free will now. And then like him putting away his memories and losing his free will, and maybe something about protecting the Sunny as his final order.
And Moria.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I think that needs to be covered still in the flashback. So I think maybe 2 or 3, depending on the pacing, and whatever else Oda wants to show us. But yeah, what do you think about the whole Nika thing kind of retroactively being put into this? Because I don't know, Nika was introduced so late, and I feel like Oda's kind of saying like, no, he's always kind of been here, just in the background of everyone's motivations. But what do you think about that?
I think at times I kind of wish it was a little bit more explicit in the early story, but I don't think it's like terribly ad hoc, it's not. Yeah, no. I don't think it really ruins a lot of it, to be honest, and I think Kuma's role was kind of suspected a lot too, I don't think this is completely out of bounds for his character.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems, like you said, like it could have been introduced earlier. Yeah, because Who's Who is the one who just kind of brought it up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
With him being racist towards Jinbei.
Oh yeah,
as you do.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I stand on it, at least, Yeah, so I don't know. I think this has been a good chapter. I think it just further connects a lot of things. I think it's pretty masterful how he's been establishing these connections in the past story with Kuma, and he's making Kuma into probably one of the most important characters in the story.
I just want to give a shout out though to Jimper, who was saying, remember when Oda said that there was only 3 years left on the story? And he's including all this stuff. I don't think it's going to be done for another while. Still, because there's still,
I agree.
We still have Elbaf, so.
Still have Elbaf. We still have Ingot.
Yeah, true. We still need to finish up this one before looking at the other arcs. But yeah, good chapter.
For sure. No, I definitely enjoyed it a lot. But anyways, so please like and subscribe, good people out there. We are on break next week, but hopefully we can get out another One Piece themed content, and we still have our Jujutsu Kaisen reviews on the way as well. So please leave your comments and thoughts on this chapter and this review, and we will see you all soon. Peace.
See ya.